name is Natalie, and I have an interview with a member of the band In Flames on June 25th, 2014. First off, who are you and what do you do in the band?
My name is Daniel Svensson, and I take care of the drumming in Flames.
What do you think has changed the most about In Flames since 1990 when you guys very first started?
Everything has changed. I mean, in the beginning we were just a small band like anyone else that starts out. I mean, everything has changed. Now it's a big machinery. We play big shows all over the world and stuff like that. But I think it's still the same things that keeps us going, that keeps us playing, and it is the love for the music and playing together. That's still the same, but everything else has changed basically. It's very different nowadays than it was back in 1990.
Can you tell me the story as to how and why the band wanted to call themselves In Flames?
That I don't know, and I don't think that anyone knows in the band, because the guy who came up with the name, he's not in the band anymore. He left several years ago, so. But I guess he thought it sounded cool. That's usually how it is, right? So. Doesn't really have any specific meaning or something like that. It's just a cool name.
Yeah.
I guess.
As you know, a lot of bands, have to deal with lineup changes, but you guys have not had the misfortune of dealing with that. What do you think keeps you guys, from not losing members and keeping a stable, solid lineup, since the beginning up until now?
We actually did have a lot of lineup changes in the beginning. Several lineup changes, and it wasn't until I joined in 1998 that we got a stable lineup for a long time. Mm-hmm. Before that, it was a lot of members that came and went and back and forth and all over the place. But since 98, we basically been the same band, except for one member, mm-hmm. Jesper, who left several years ago, and was replaced by Niklas Engelin. And he was actually in the band before as well, so it's kind of complicated. But we've been pretty stable since '98 at least, and I think we know each other so well. Mm-hmm. We've been doing this for so long. We know how to treat each other good or bad if you want to. But I think we have a deep respect for each other and each other's privacy when we're on tour and stuff like that. And we're also kind of democratic band. Everyone has their saying, so no one feels that everyone feels needed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No one is left out.
Do you happen to know why your singer decided to chop off his hair?
Yeah. He just felt like it. He was, he didn't like it anymore, I guess. It's not a big deal.
Well, I've noticed that from a lot of different musicians. It's like, well, that guy used to have long hair, now he has short hair. And then the guy that had short hair now has long hair. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, some people seem to think that the music is in the hair, but it's more in the fingers, I guess, or in the throat.
I noticed, and I'm pretty sure the fans have noticed, that over, the years that you guys have, been doing this, you have yet to release anything that has been a self-titled release, rather it be, a CD, an EP, a DVD, or what have you. How come? Do you plan to, or is that just not your style?
We never talked about it. I don't know. It's nothing we thought about either. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Might come. Might not. I don't know. We don't have any plan for it either. I mean, usually the albums have had titles from different songs, and it's the same on this one. But you never know in the future. We might have a self-titled album or DVD. We'll see. But it's nothing we planned or has been talking about at all.
Do you think we will ever see an all acoustic release from you guys?
I mean, it's not impossible. We like to do different stuff. We never want to repeat ourselves, so it might work. But I mean, In Flames are still a very aggressive band, and our songs are best. They sound the best way as they are supposed to be, not acoustic, electric. But you never know. But it's nothing we talked about either. But I mean, we're into different stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, I've noticed that, again, a lot of different bands are doing certain things, so I have to ask. You never know. You guys have run your course with being with different labels. Why haven't you decided to just do the DIY approach to releasing music and doing everything?
Sorry, if we thought about doing it ourselves?
Yeah.
Instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it several times, but I mean, that means that means a lot of hard work, and we want to concentrate on what we do best, and that is play music, and we want to try to tour as much as possible, and I don't know if we are ready to do it ourselves. It feels more safe to go with a label like the old-fashioned way, and we can concentrate on playing. But yeah, we've been discussing it back and forth several times. A lot of bands are doing that nowadays, but we decided to stay on a old-fashioned label this time as well. So, but you never know in the future. We'll see.
You guys are now up to your 11th album. Do you think it's safe to say that you've come a long way and have accomplished so much as a band?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if someone told me when I joined the band in 1998 that I in 2014 would still do this and still grow for each and every album, I would probably not believe it. But we're really grateful for everything that we have achieved so far. And it's actually beyond our own expectations. This is not what you think when you start a band. And we, as I said, just grateful that we still can do this and that we still can gain new fans, even though we write songs that we enjoy, It seems that we have a lot of loyal fans and we do music that still are accessible to new kids, so we're happy. So, I mean, if the band would break up today, I would be so happy with what we have achieved so far. Definitely.
It's been 3 years since the release of your last album. Why such a long gap between that release and this release?
First off, the touring cycle for Sounds of Playground Fading was a little bit longer than it has been before. And then after that extensive tour, we felt that we needed a few more months off than we had before. Usually we've been right off after the tour, we were just jumping into the studio writing new material, but we felt that we needed to recharge our batteries this time. We're getting older, so we needed a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
Would you say that there's a story or a concept to be said about this album or its title?
I don't know that much about it lyrically, but I think it's about addiction, basically, and all the temptations that are out there today. That's at least what the title means, the siren charms. Otherwise, I don't know that much about the lyrics, but Anders wrote all the lyrics while we were in Berlin recording. So he didn't have any lyrics at all before the recording. He wrote them on site and got inspired by Berlin and everything around. And I know that he watched a lot of documentaries about just like addiction and drug abuse and stuff like that. So that's what I can tell about the lyrics.
How does the album's artwork relate to the music on this album?
I don't know. I think it more relates to the lyrics than the music, I would say. it's more. I think it's a stronger link in between the artwork and the lyrics than it is in between the music and the artwork. That's my feeling, at least.
Can you give us a brief summary behind all of the tracks on the album?
Ooh, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, we wanted to write a interesting album with a lot of diverse songs. I mean, we still have a few fast ones, like Everything's Gone, like more, not really death metal song, but it's heavy and it's fast. And then we have not a ballad, but almost our power ballad. Now I forgot the name, just because. Yeah, it's hard to explain all the songs, but we really tried to make an interesting album with 11 different tracks that would work well together as a set list. And we had more songs recorded, but we left those out because it didn't really have the flow together with these other 11 songs that we picked. But I think it's the most interesting album we ever released. It's more nuances in all these songs than we ever have recorded before. And it's more of everything, I would say. And it's a more mature album in a way.
Yeah.
Sounds boring, but it's mature in a good way, I would say.
Do you think there is an element of the band sound that you would like to push further on the next release? Or there aren't any more elements that you want to try out for future material?
I don't know. It's hard to start to talk about the next release. This is so fresh for us still, and we haven't played the songs live yet. And I think before we start to discuss new songs, we need to play these songs live more than 100 times just to see how it works and how we should continue on the next album. At the end of the day, we write songs that should sound good live, because we're a live band, and that's the most important part. So dynamics is one of the most important elements in our songs, and dynamics makes them interesting when we play it live. But it's hard for me to talk about the next release now and how the songs will sound like, but we'll see.
I know this release is already, in the bag and going to be coming out this fall, but you never know. You could have just been, listening back to it, and then boom, a new idea pops in, and it's like, okay, next. I already know what the next one's going to sound like.
No, not really. I know a lot of bands, they start to write new songs when they're on tour. But we tried that, but we can't, because we're stuck in the present so much. We need to finish touring on that album, close that chapter, and then start to write the new one.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to start thinking of new songs while we are in the middle of the new ones already, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We need to finish this chapter before we start a new one.
Are any of you currently involved in any other bands or projects besides In Flames?
It's only Nicholas. He's involved in two other bands. One called Engel, and one called it's a Swedish word. It's called Drömriket. He needs to write music all the time. He's very creative, so he needs to put that out all the time on different channels. But he's the only one that has side projects musically nowadays.
All right.
At least what I know of. I don't know if someone has a secret band or whatever.
As you may or may not be aware, a lot of your previous releases come this year currently have hit certain milestones. Lunar Strain is at 20 years, Colony is at 15 years, soundtrack to your escape is at 10 years, and as you're probably aware, a lot of bands have been taking certain albums and playing them front to back. Will you be doing that for any of these 3 releases, or is that something you guys wouldn't want to do?
We did that once with the soundtrack to your Escape album. We did a special show, one in Gothenburg, Sweden, and one in LA. And we played that album from track 1 to 12 or whatever. And then we played a second set with the old classics. So we did it once, and I mean, it's a pretty cool idea. But I don't think we'll do it on a regular tour. It might be on like a special show like that. So it might happen again.
What does the band have planned for the rest of this year besides the album?
We have the album release first week of September, 9th, I think. And then shortly after that we go on our first tour through Europe. And then we'll go on until somewhere in November. And then we'll hopefully have another tour before Christmas somewhere. We don't know where yet. Hopefully North America. And I think at latest we'll tour America early next year. But nothing booked, but we're working on it. But we will tour as much as possible from September and on, all over the world, several times. So, but the only thing we have booked is the European tour that starts in September and ends in November.
Speaking of touring and playing shows, where haven't you guys toured and played shows?
I think we played every continent so far. But there are several countries, obviously, that we haven't played. But I mean, we've been everywhere. We've been in South Africa, Australia, Taiwan, South Korea, North America, Europe, you name it. So we've been fortunate and very grateful that we have a large fan base, basically all over the world. So,
do you think?
But there are still countries to be played.
Yeah. Do you think there's been a band out there that has been to every single part of the world as far as touring and stuff, or no?
I don't know. I mean, there are bands that tour more than we do, definitely. And I mean, we have friends that have been playing in Georgia, and really strange places. So you can play heavy metal anywhere nowadays, it seems. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, I look at some bands that have been around for like 15, 20 years. It's like, well, you guys still haven't made it to that part of the country yet? Why not? You've been around for so long.
Yeah.
Speaking of years together, you guys have been together for almost going on 25 years. What's your reaction to that?
First off, it makes me feel old. But I mean, as I said before, I'm really grateful that people still enjoy what we do. And I mean, it's thanks to the fans that we still do this. It's just because of them. And yeah, we're just happy and grateful that it still works. And that we are allowed to write music that we enjoy to play. We don't write music that we think that people would like. We still write songs that we enjoy to play, and that people still enjoys that. That's awesome, and we're really happy for that.
And would you like to add or say anything else to the fans out there, or in general?
Not really. I mean, we're really looking forward to be back on tour. We haven't played for almost a year now, and it's more than 1.5 years that we were in the States playing, so we can't wait to get back there and meet all our fans and hopefully meet some new ones. So we'll see you on the road.